today we're looking at planning for mathematics. And as our flyer said, we're really going to be looking at three things. How to plan lessons for online delivery and assessment, because assessment is important. Some big ideas that we need to focus on, and some teaching activities that you can use with your students during this time. So planning for math during COVID-19. Now, this COVID thing has been really thrust upon us, so we really didn't have a plan. I don't think anybody could have thought that in May 2020 we'd be away from our students and that we'd have to be doing distance learning. It's a very, very difficult situation, and it is stressful. And we acknowledge that it is stressful. So I want everybody to take a deep breath, and let it out. Yeah, we need to do that sometimes. All right. So we need to realize that there's a new mindset on how we're going to approach planning. There's no way that we can take the mindset and the ways that we used to plan for a face-to-face session. Things have to change. It cannot be business as usual. And this is such an unknown turf that we all have to help each other as we go along. So I think what is a valuable activity for us to do is to do an inventory check. And when we do an inventory check, we're saying, say to yourself, what is it that I have available to me? Because you can't plan to do something unless you know what you have. So if you're hungry and you decide that you want to bake a chocolate cake, and you only have half a pound of flour, it's not going to be half a cup of flour. It's not going to be chocolate cake. It's going to be 2 dumplings, right? You have to know what you have and what you're working with. So what do I have available to me? What's the hardware and software do I have? Do I have a new zippy laptop with all the features? Do I have a clunker that can barely make it? Am I using a phone? What is my connectivity like? Am I using a data plan? Do I have a really reliable internet service at home? Am I jumping onto my neighbor's internet and sometimes unplug it out? What is the connectivity that I'm using? And also we need to face reality and ask ourselves, what level of tech skills do I have? Am I really very good at, am I a techie? Or do my tech skills, are they just being able to play Candy Crush and check Facebook? So you need to look at what kinds of skills do you have. And we also need to look at what do students have available to them? Or do most of your students have laptop, tablet, smartphone? I know I'm not in a situation where that is so for my students. Many of my students have no tech at all. What are we going to do for them? And we also need to know what skills do they have. Some of these students have hidden skills. They may even have more tech skills than we do. But we don't know because we were never thrown in this situation. And another thing we need to ask ourselves is, what are the gaps that can be quickly addressed? And I dare to say that one of the gaps that can be quickly addressed is tech skills. I mean, we went on shutdown in March, and I'm telling you, I believe that my tech skills have grown 2, 3, 4-fold. If you just take the time and you can attend the YouTube University, there are lots of things on there, and you can improve your tech skills really, really quickly. And that will help the situation. All right, so we know that the way things are, we cannot approach teaching the way we are accustomed to approaching. It's not going to work. That's the reality of it. So we know also, well, if you don't know, well, I'm going to say, you're not going to cover the curriculum. Some of us are having a hard time covering the curriculum as it is when we are in face-to-face settings. It's not going to happen in distance teaching. So then we need to decide, what is it that we are going to do? What is it that we're going to do? We have to make some tweaking and adaptation. So the question we have to ask ourselves is, what am I going to teach? Huh? What do I teach? Because I really can't follow the curriculum as it is. So our suggestion is, firstly, the things that we're going to teach has to be deliverable. If you're going to do it online, what are some of the things that we can deliver online? There are certain topics that just do not lend themselves to being taught online. Or let me say that differently. If you don't have a high level of tech skills, it's more difficult to teach those skills online. So teaching children how to use compasses and protractors and things like that, is it possible? Yes. But if you don't have a higher level of tech skills, it may be more difficult. So some of these kinds of topics we need to kind of rest a little bit. We also need to look at what is it that's going to have a big impact on student mastery, because we want, mathematics is something that you really have to ensure mastery for students. It's, I dare say, it's one of those subjects that, not like history, or history, if you didn't master European history, you can still master Caribbean history. But if you didn't master multiplication and addition and subtraction, once you move up it higher in the grade, you're going to have a problem. So we really have to work to mastery. So what are the activities that are going to impact your students so that they're going to have a high level of mastery? And we also need to look for topics that recur often. What are those topics that you know you're not seeing your children again until these children, well, they're not going to be in your class the next time you see them. So your children are now moving up to grade 2. They're moving to the next grade. What are some of the topics that they're going to see again and that you know you need to really give them that foundation for them to be successful in the next grade? So we, coming to the last point, you need to really reinforce your critical ideas and key concepts so that students are more prepared for the next grade that they're going. Everybody all right? Let me know if everybody's here and am I talking to myself. All right, so the next thing we need to look at, so we've looked at what it is that we're going to teach, and we're going to narrow that down a bit. Then we have to look at how we're going to teach. How we teach face-to-face is not going to be as successful when we're teaching online or when we're doing distance learning. Are you going to use a lot of those skills? Absolutely, but we have to acquire new skills to add to that as well, right? So the first thing I want to talk about is structure, and the things that I'm talking about is based on what I've found with distance teaching that I've been experiencing in the last couple of weeks. Structure, structure, structure. The student, we're accustomed to students being in front of us, and when they're with us, we provide a certain structure face to face. They know what time they come to school, they know what time break is, you know, you're there breathing down the neck, so there's some kind of structure on how things work. Now that the students are at home, that structure is practically removed. It's for some students, it's non-existent. The parents do not provide that support and structure that we need. So we are, as best as you can, try and provide that. So one of the things that I do, and you can find a million ways of doing this, I say class starts at 8. So they know every morning at 8 o'clock, something is going to happen. So you need to get up, you need to be at school at 8, assignments are posted what time do they need to be submitted. And if they're not submitted, I'm going to contact you, you know, so there's some consequence to your behavior. So we need to provide structure for them because there are so many distractions at home. There's little cousin, little brother, there's the fridge, you know, I mean, that's been very distracting. Video games, you name it, everything is distracting. So we have to provide structure for them. Another thing we need to talk about is shortening lessons. It is, I believe, it's my opinion that it is unrealistic to think that you are going to be able to engage students for the entire time that you used to engage them face-to-face. I feel it's unrealistic. Students tire very easily, even if you have them on Zoom. You're not able to be effective Zooming or Google Meeting from 8 until 2:30. So we need to shorten our lessons. We also need to do things that are active, that students are participating, and it's not just like what I'm doing now, just lecturing and lecturing. We want to have activities that they're involved, right? And we also say we need to mix the thing up, mixed media. So Sometimes you're talking, sometimes it's a video, sometimes it's an activity, sometimes you have to go and get something and bring it, sometimes they have to do videos. So just change and mix the media a bit. All right, so another thing we're talking about, you need to blend the activities with off-screen and on-screen, and especially for students who use a phone, that small screen may be difficult. So we need to do some off-screen activities as well. But I also encourage you to do synchronous learning as well. And what I mean by that is try to get some tool that you see your students and that they are able to interact with you live, immediate interaction, and that they're able to interact with their students as well. I know it's difficult, but you know, we're moving along and we're try as best as you can. If it's even once a week that you can meet with the students. And lastly, we need to funify the thing. A lot of people hate math. Already, when they say math, it's a problem. So you know, let's see if we can put a little fun into math. For active learning, that we have an activity that is on screen and off screen. So you could ask students off screen, you can send a message for them to look for numbers around the house. These are for younger children, on product labels, on bills in newspaper. What's the smallest and largest number they can find? So that's an activity that they would be doing offline. And then on screen now, you can have the children post these pictures and compare the numbers and who found the smallest, who found the largest. So it's incorporating both online, on screen and off screen. Here's another activity. They can look for horizontal lines, look for symmetry. And you know that these things are all over the house. There's nobody who can't find symmetry wherever they live. And then they take pictures and post it up, right? So these are examples of active learning that you can incorporate off screen and on screen. All right, measuring, you can measure all the light switches in your house. Are they all the same distance from the floor? Compare that with the light switches that other students in your class have, and what are the findings? Can you do up a table, a chart, something like that, okay? All right, so I also want to talk about videos. Videos are really a great way to enhance students' understanding of a topic. And the fact that we are not face-to-face with our students, they are really helpful. But I want to give you a word of caution. YouTube is full of a lot of helpful videos, but it's also full of a lot of junk. So please, when you're selecting your video, make sure you select something that is appropriate for your age level, because sometimes the video is not, you see the topic, but it's not really what you're trying to bring forth and to teach your students. So really watch the entire video. I dare say if you see the video is 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, don't even bother with it. It's a little too long. Remember, we're talking about primary school children. And if it is too long, but the content is really good, then break it up. You know, show half of it and then show the other half. But I also want to tell you, no one does it quite as good as you. Making your own videos, that's a really viable option. That's a really viable option. And students love to hear their teacher's voice. It's what they're accustomed to. It gives them a level of comfort that a strange video with that Indian accent, you know the ones I'm talking about, is not as comforting to hear their own videos. So, and you can make your own videos really easy with your document camera. It's really an easy task. And you may be saying, my document camera, where this woman I come from, and on a document camera. Of course you do. Everybody has a document camera. So there's a picture of my document camera. Do we all have document cameras? Yes, we all have document cameras. So all you need to do is stack your books, put your phone in, lay it flat, make sure heavier books are on top, and voila, there's your document camera, okay? So if you don't believe me, I'm going to show you, this is a quick video of what I made with the said document camera. Plus 18 is going to give us how much? Can you do that in your head? I'm sure you. All right, so that was just a quick quick tip on making your videos. Now, when I started to make videos, I was so concerned, you know, I didn't put the S on properly, and you know, forget it. The children know you. This is a video you're making for your children. You're not making it to go on YouTube. Just be yourself, and if you make a mistake, just say sorry, Lord, foolishness, and you carry on. Don't bother with the whole for post production. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. All right, so let us take a look at assessment. And when we're talking about assessment, I know a lot of us, and I'm saying this because I know I've seen it, you know, on social media and a lot of it through WhatsApp. What we are doing is students are taking pictures of the work that they have, and then they are sending it to you by WhatsApp, and then you're marking it in that really smart way of marking it and sending it back. It is what it is, and if that is the option that you have, knock yourself out, go right ahead. But I'm saying there are other options as well, and we need to start looking into other options, because this is here. We still have another, we're here doing this until June, end of June, you know, July. So we're still doing this, and we don't know all these skills that you acquire are skills that you can use next year. So we want to minimize the use of images of handwritten work. It's very tedious, and as one video said, all it's going to do is bang up your phone, you know, fully for banging up on your phone to all this kind of data and all the rest of that. So let us see if we can find other options. And a really, really good option is Google Forms. Now, this is not the training that we're going to teach how to use Google Forms, but I think it's something that we can look at. But I just want to show you what it's able to do in 2 seconds. So explore Google Forms and also explore online quizzes. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that further down in the presentation. But Google Forms looks like this. Now, some of you may be familiar with this question. This question was handed out, I think, by the math department. I got it by WhatsApp. And what I did was I took the question, which was sent as a PDF, and I put it on Google Forms. Now, Google Forms allows you to do multiple choice, and here's a multiple choice question. It also allows you to insert an image so students can look at diagrams. They can they can look at diagrams and write short answers. Now, once you've taken the time and put something on Google Forms, the beauty of it is that you front load the work, because once students submit these forms, it is automatically marked by Google Forms. Google Forms marks it and then gives you the result. And it gives you this kind of analysis of how your students are doing. So if you see here, I had one student right here who didn't do so well. I suspect he clicked submit before it was time. And then I have a few students who did really well here. So yeah, it really works out, and it gives you the average and so. So the time it's going to take you to learn how to do Google Forms and to set it up, which is really not a lot of time, you're going to get that time back tenfold instead of marking these images. All right. So that's it on Google Forms. Hold on. What is going on here? So let us look at the big ideas. So we need to look at some topics for instruction, because as we said, you can't cover everything. So what exactly do you think we need to cover? All right, so I'm going to share now some topics for each grade. As Mr. Leslie told you, once you go to the website link that you're going to be given, you will be able to get this presentation. So you'll be able to look at it. But for those of you who want an immediate view of it, feel free to screenshot it or something. So they're coming up now, and we're doing them in order. So the first one is grade 1. Grade 1, here are some grade 1 topics. Just take a look. I don't want time to run out. There's so many things that I want to cover. So these are the topics for grade 1. Place value. There's a high emphasis at grade 1 for numbers, obviously, computation and sets. What are they doing in fractions? Identify and represent half. Go. All right, so fractions, I representing and identifying halves and quarters, non-standard units, calendar, on the hour, half hour. These are the important things that are going to lay the foundation for grade 2. All right, so here, let me show you some of the grade 2 topics. And place value. So just take a screenshot of it. So there's place value, number, measurement, statistics. There's all of that, right? So there's grade 2. Here is grade 3. For grade 4. So I'm not, it doesn't make sense for me to read these all off for you. You can do that once you've gotten this, but we just want you to have them so that you know where to focus on, right? So as I said, you'll get it in the PowerPoint, or you can be doing the screenshot of it right now, okay? So there's grade 4, here's grade 5. Everybody quick, grade 5 teachers, come quick, snap, snap. There's grade 6. Okay, so those are the big ideas that we really want to look at. So now time for activities. I should have told you at the beginning and I didn't, and please forgive me. Can you all get a pencil, pen, a writing implement, and a piece of paper? So I will chat a little bit while you run and get that. Or you probably have some ready. All right, so we're going to try and give you the difficulty with giving activities, and the difficulty with talking to so many people, ranging from grades 1 to 6, is that everybody has a different focus and everybody wants something else. So what we're doing today, or what I'm doing today, is really giving you some general activities that you can change for your grade. So you may not see your grade in activity, but I want you to stop and think, how is it that I can adjust this exact activity to match my grade level, or to match how the level that my students are functioning now. So the first thing I want to talk about is problem of the day. Now, many of us already do this in our class, and we're talking about just giving a few questions, 1, 2, not a whole 50 worksheet, 20, 30, no, that's not what I'm talking about. 1, 2, 3 problems of the day are given to the students to work on, right? And my suggestions for when you're creating these things, or when you're looking for them, is that they vary in difficulty. So the problem of the day is posted, and we'll talk about how we're going to get this to our students in a little bit after we talk about activity. Level it so that everybody in your class can at least start something. If they can't even complete the entire question, even the student who is not the best math student can take a start, or they can even look at it and say, you know, I can start it, I can attempt it. So here's an example of problem of the day. It has 3 questions, and it varies in difficulty. So what problems of the day, what we're trying to do is, this is not a drill and kill practice worksheet. That's not what this is. This is problems that we're giving the students to try and apply the math concepts that they have learned. So these are, we're going to talk about how we're going to put, but this is really a good idea to keep up for online activity, and especially if you're consistent with it. If you don't want to do it every day, then call it problem of the week. This is really a good way. All right. So here are some examples of problems of the day. All right. So different levels, 1 or 2 questions, and they're really done nicely. You may say, I don't have any time for that. You don't have to have any time. Here is a list of websites that gives you these problems of the day. All you need to do is take it. Some of them, especially White Rose Math, that's the one that I really love. I use that a lot. This is out of the UK, so you have to change the currency. So it's in pounds. Just keep your eye on that. And also sometimes you need to change it when they're doing things, the price of things maybe $1.50 when you know in our terms that thing would cost $350. So just make some adjustments so that it's more realistic to our students. But here are some websites that you can use, or just simply Google problem of the day, and a lot of them are going to come up. But these are the ones that I particularly like. So just snap a picture of it, or wait till you get the presentation. All right. Another thing that's a good activity is talking math. And what talking math does, it gives a question to foster math discussions. And math discussions are really, really important for students to be able to talk math and to develop that language of math and use the correct, be specific and precise in the words, the math language that they use. This is really, really important. When we're talking, talking math, we need to train or to let our children practice the language of math. And activities called talking math is a really good way of doing it. So here's one that gives a picture of Mama Duck and some ducklings, and it says, describe how you would count the number of duck feet in the picture. Mr. Leslie, could you see if you could take off the tick? And so people are complaining that it's distracting, and it really is, but I just don't want to stop to do that. Let me, if you don't mind, let me see if I can do it. Yes, I did. Oh, there we go. All right, all is well. Thank you. Describe how you would count the number of duck feet in the picture. Now, I want you to really look at the question and analyze the question. The question is not asking students to tell me how many duck feet there are there. That's a different question. This question is asking, describe how you would count the number of duck feet. So once you have a question like this, is that the students are now able to talk about the different ways that they will come up with. And you'd be surprised the amount of ways that they're going to come up with to count the number of duck feet, right? So there's a discussion. Math Talk also allows you to assess students' understanding of the concept as well. So it's really, really a good way. So here's this picture of the duck feet, and this describe how you would count the number of duck feet would be a lower grade, a grade 1, maybe a grade 2, grade 2 task. But look at this, let me just look at this same picture. Are there more or less than 15 baby ducks? How could you find out? Same kind of question. How could you find out? This is maybe a basic school, maybe a slower grade 1 student. And then we can take the exact same picture and ask a question for a higher grade level. When feeding baby ducks, a quarter of feed of a bag feed is divided among 8 bowls. How much of a feed bag will be in each bowl? Explain or show how you know. Same picture, but different level of questioning. All right. Now, what I want to tell you is that I didn't make this up. I would love to tell you that this was my question, but it's not. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Just take the wheel and use it, right? So illustrative math is really a good spot for this. So what they do, I think they have 35 of them so far. So you now have 35 days that you can, they put up a picture and they give you questions for every single grade. So all you need to do is decide which grade you are using, or just decide and use a picture and do your math talk. So we're going to again talk about how we're going to interact with our students with this, but I just want to let you know what the activity is. All right, so that's math talk. And there they are. There are several of them, and this is the link to go and get them. Okay. All right. There's another one that I love, which is called "Which One Doesn't Belong." Yeah, we have time. Which one doesn't belong? So look at the picture and say which one doesn't belong. Any of you know this is coming out? This reminds me of Sesame Street, doesn't it? One of these things are not like the other. You know that one? Yeah, that's it. So the question, but this is really unique. I just love it. It is, I mean, I love it. So you can ask the question this way. Look at the picture and say which one doesn't belong. So I'm going to put it in the chat. you answer. Look at the picture and tell me which one doesn't belong. Please put, and there you need, I put up my letters. Tell me which one doesn't belong. Look at them, everybody. Which one doesn't belong? A, B, C, D. Which one this doesn't belong? And tell me why it doesn't belong. Tell me why it doesn't belong. I have D. Everybody's taking D. The Pentagon. Holy, for everybody says D. Okay. Is that, are you sure? Everybody says, most people are saying D doesn't belong. Now, what about if I change this question and say, look at each shape. Listen to the question carefully, because I think I erased it from my PowerPoint. I'm sorry. Look at each shape and tell me why it doesn't belong. So let us look at shape A. Why doesn't shape A belong? Anybody has any answers? Why? Oh, somebody says shape A belongs. Why does shape A not belong? Oh, very good. It's not a regular pentagon. It's not. All the other three, B, C, and D, are regular pentagons. So this is for a higher level. A is not a regular pentagon. All right. Now, really how these are set up, which one doesn't belong. Let me show you another one. So we do shapes and we can do numbers. Which one does not belong? Could I have your answer? Which one does not belong? 9. Somebody said 9. Somebody's saying 43. Which one doesn't belong with this? 9 and 43. All right. So really and truly, the question, this is how the question is to be worded. Find the reason why each one does not belong. So how these which one doesn't belong has been designed is that there is something common about us three, but each one, there's a unique characteristic about each one that makes it not belong. All right. So this is probably for your higher order students. And I see where people are saying that's far too much work. Don't worry about it. You see that little website that I have quoted on the bottom? They're all there for you. Just take them and use them. Only thing is that this has, the ones that they have here tend to be for upper school. There are not as many on this web. There are actually none on this website for lower school. But if you Google this activity, you will find there are people who have created them for you. So for example, just Google it. It's which one does not belong, and you will get. So for example, the 9 here is the only single digit, right? The 16 is the only even number. So we can find out, we can go through and find a lot of reasons, right? So this is really, really a good activity as well. All right, as I said, there is where you can go and collect it. Now, I want to talk about how the three activities, problem of the day, math talk, and which one doesn't belong. They're kind of similar in the approach that we can use. All right, so all of them can, they foster math discussion. So you can send these out digitally. You can send them out digitally. Send them by WhatsApp. Send them to the parents' WhatsApp group, right? Once you send them, then you can also print them. There are some schools who are printing and having children pick up worksheets. Print it with the question, right? And if you are selecting the problem, not the problem of the day, the math talk, print the version that has all grade levels. If you print the version that have all grade levels, then there can be a discussion at home if you have supportive parents, that they can start from grade 1 and answer grade 1 question, the grade 2 question, all of that. So there can be that discussion, having that math discussion at home with their parents. You can ask students to create their own math talk, their own questions, their own which one doesn't belong, right? So that's how we can use it. But I want to talk about assessment of this activity. So if we send it out, we have a little table, we send it out as a printed copy, how are we expecting a response? We are really expecting a response back by paper most of the time, because if we had to send it to you by paper, we are probably expecting that response by paper. And giving feedback, there's really a heavy delay. And there's no collaboration between teacher and students. Students are not talking with each other. If we send it by email, it's pretty much the same. I send it to you. When you're finished it, you send it back. The feedback that you can give your students is delayed, and there's no collaboration. If we send it to our WhatsApp individually and tell them to WhatsApp it back, the feedback is also delayed. They'll answer when they feel like answering you. And there's limited collaboration as well. If you send it to a student's WhatsApp group, and especially if you've created some kind of structure that we need to be talking on this WhatsApp group at 9 o'clock every morning, and you post it, then you can get some kind of discussion going on. And there is a higher level of collaboration than if we had just emailed it or WhatsApped it out without having some kind of structure as to when they're responding. But if we do this on Zoom or Google Meets or one of those tools that allow us to talk, quote unquote, to our children, then the expected response is a discussion. And can you imagine what kind of discussion that is, especially which one doesn't belong when there's a argument, a heated argument as I am correct or I'm not correct. So there's a high level of collaboration with peers and teachers. So we really want this kind of activity. All right, so we have a DICE activity. And DICE activities are really good. And you may be thinking to yourself, how am I going to do a DICE activity? I don't have the children in front of me. Yes, it is very, very possible. So I'm going to show you. It's really good for developing place value. There are a million and one things you can do. If you go online and Google DICE activity, you're bombarded with a lot of activity. And I'm sure as teachers that we have been using them. So now we're going to really look at how can we use those? How can we use those in our classroom or virtual classroom? So what I want everybody to do is I want everybody to make these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks at the top, dashes, those little lines, those little spaces, and 1 at the bottom, right? Everybody write that on a piece of paper. And if you have done that, please just tell me yes in the chat. I am going to roll the dice 6 times. Let me repeat. I'm going to roll the dice 6 times. Teachers, how many times am I going to roll the dice? Let me know in the chat. How many times? How many times am I going to roll the dice? 6 times. Very good. And this is what you do with the students, right? So when I'm meeting with my students, I only have about 24 that I meet with. So I let them unmute the mic and everybody says yes. But if I were to unmute the 889 colleagues that we have here, that would be absolutely crazy. So we're going to do it by tap 6 times. All right, so I'm going to now roll the dice. Your objective is to make the largest number. You're going to make the largest number. So when I roll the dice and you see the number, you are going to decide which of the black lines you should put it on. Or you have 1 chance to throw it out. You only have 1 chance to throw it out and put that number on the red line. Everybody with me? All right, so we're making the largest number. I'm going to roll it 6 times. You put it anywhere you want at any time. If you decide you don't like that number, just put it down on the red line, but you can only do that once, okay? All right, so we're going to roll the dice. All right, let's hope that this, just give me a second. Have you seen that one? Mr. Leslie, are we seeing that? And the first number is 4. Put down your 4, put down your 4. Everybody ready? 4. All right, let me make the screen a little bigger. All right, ready to roll again? And the second number is 5. Write down your 5. Lucky number 5. Yep, just like bingo, you are correct. And the next number is 1. Put down your 1. 1, 1, 1. Next number is 4 again. Lucky number 4. And the next number is going to be 1. And the last rolling now. What I don't understand is some people giving me the number already. And I don't roll 6 times. I have to roll 6 times. Last rolling. Last number is 3. Put up your number. Honest, let us not have any bandula business. All right, Mr. Leslie, could you look and see who the winner is? What is the highest number that we have? What's the highest number? 350. 35,000 can't win it. No, you're not in it to win it at all. No, no, no. All right. Very good. All right. Do you see how we can play this game online? Would you like to play one more time? Let us now go to the smallest number. We're going to roll for the smallest number. Everybody with me? Rolling for the smallest number. Okay? And the first number is 3. 3, 3, 3. Ready again? Second number is 6, 6, 6. Third number is 4. I'll soon explain how you get the dice. 4. Are we ready? Oh, some people putting up answers. All right. The next number is 4. This dice look like it loaded on the 4, you know. All right, let's go again. 2. Lucky number 2. And one more time now. 3. All right, so you understand how this works, right? You understand how this works. Let me get back to my screen. So we can do the largest number. So one of the questions I saw in the chat is how do we get the dice? I'm gonna, if you look at the top of the screen, you see the link for it. It's at the top of the screen, so you'll get it once you get the PowerPoint. Or you can just Google online dice. A word of warning. When I was preparing for this and looking for online dice, there are many online. Be very careful. Do you know those ads that they have on the side? Well, a lot of these online dice, I don't know if they think that people who play with dice are more, I don't know. Let us just put it this way. It's not appropriate for children. So please take a look where you get your online dice from. This one is pretty safe as to what I've seen, so you can use this, okay? All right, so there is this dice game, all right? Did everybody enjoy that? Do you think that can work? All right, now let us talk about, we did the smallest number. So it's all good and well that we have the fun of the game, but the game has a purpose. So once we've done it a couple of times with the children, they realize that there's a strategy to this thing. So we can encourage a discussion, asking questions like, what strategy did you use? Why did you select the numbers? Why did you throw that number out? When you saw a number, how did you decide where you were going to put it? So it's that discussion that is really a part of the reinforcing what they understand, right? It's not just only about playing games, all right? So this activity, we roll the dice 6 times and we were looking for 5 numbers. Obviously, you can do this with 3 numbers or 2 numbers for a younger set of children, but you can level up the game as well, right? So let us look at leveling up the same activity. You can set the template to look like this and roll the dice 3 times. Make the largest sum, right? You really have to stop and think how you're going to do that. And we can level it up this way. Roll the dice 4 times and get a true number sentence, all right? There are a lot of ways. Roll the dice 3 times, and the value of the middle number should be between the number on the left and number on the right, okay? And again, once we have done this activity and you've allowed them to play it enough so that they have developed a strategy, then we want to talk about the discussion on what was the strategy and what was the math thinking behind this activity, okay? All right, so there is the link to go and get the dice, right? So we have that, all right? So snap it or just get it from the presentation. All right, so let us talk about online quizzes, because assessment is really an important part. Now, online quizzes, there are really 2 ways to look at online quizzes, or I look at them in two ways. There are pre-prepared quizzes that you go and they're already prepared. The items are there. The items have already been designed, and there's really not much that you can do with them. It's like an online worksheet. You really can't change them. And then they are available to you, these sites that will allow you to create your own quiz. So I'm going to give you, there are several of them. I'm only giving you one example. As I said, we soon run out of time, and I haven't even touched everything. So let us look at prepared quizzes. And here is an example of one of the websites that I particularly like. It's called Algebra. There it is, algebraforchildren.com. So here it is. When you go, you're just going to click. Quizlet is quite good. Yes, I saw that. I do use Quizlet, but I figured a lot of people knew Quizlet, so I didn't put it in the presentation. So you can go quizzes, right? And when you look on the quizzes, there are a lot of quizzes there. There they are. Are you seeing them? A whole lot of them, right? So let us pick one, whatever, comparing fraction quiz 1. And when you look, here comes the quiz, if it will load. I mean, taking too long to load. All right. So these questions are pre-prepared. There's hardly, you can't do anything to adjust them, right? So this one is comparing two fractions with large numerators and denominators. This is really a core skill that we need to get students to understand. We need to teach this because this is really one of the must-have topics. So we start the quiz and they click 420 at 80, which one is larger, which one it is less than. All right, correct. And it continues through, and if you get it wrong, it tells you that it is incorrect. Right? Yes, the question is, are these online quizzes free? This one is absolutely free. I'm not showing anything that you have to pay. Look here, we're on teacher's salary. What do you expect? No paying. Nothing that I've mentioned here is about paying. Everything that I'm talking to you about today is free. Free. All right. So it continues on. I'm just going to quickly, I'm not even going to read the question. I just want to show you, the end. That's really what we're going through 5 out of 10. I'm just going to get some wrong, get some right, just kind of see. Yeah, I'm really not very bright today. Let's go through. All right, so we've done, I just want to show you what the end is. That's why I am continuing to do this. All right. So once we get to the end, the children get this screen, okay? So once I get this screen, what you can do is ask the children to take a screenshot of it and let them send it to you, right? Let them send it to you. Now, you know that when they fail it like how I have failed it here, they're not going to send that to you. Well, the smart ones are not going to send it to you. What they're going to do is do the test over. And they're going to do it over 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times until they get it right. And they will improve the practice, right? So let them send this to you, and then you'll get an idea of how well they did. So these are the pre-prepared math quizzes online, okay? All right, so it's finished there. Let me just escape out of that. Sorry, let me just, I'm going between website and things, so it's a little bit tricky sometimes. All right, so let's talk about the make your own quiz. Being able to make your own quiz. Let me just clean the screen again. All right, so being able to make your own screen is really, really very helpful, all right? All right. So here is thatquiz.org. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Now, what's the difference? Okay, if you look at, are you seeing it on my screen? Because I don't know. Please let me know if you're seeing it on your screen. Now, give me a quick yes or no in the chat. Yes, no, yes. I'm going to assume yes, nobody else. And yes, we're seeing it. Okay. Now, if you look at it, it has no bells and whistles, no pretty colors, no fancy anything to attract children. It really is distraction free, and I guess you'd say boring. But what you're able to do with this is you're able to log in, create an account. Once you create the account, then you're able to create your own quizzes and submit them and give them to your students, right? So let me show you. Let me log in. Let me log into my account. Log in. Okay. So when you go, this is what you're going to see. Okay. This is what you're going to see. Very boring, but this is your view of it. So there's instructions. You can just read and move around, but you create a class, and once you create a class, then you're able to create your own test. So this is my demo class because I didn't want to bring up my class for you to see my children's name and so I just created a demo class. So once you have a demo class, you can see I've given out 3 tests, and the length of the test. I gave an addition, a time test, what grade level it was, when it was assigned, and we can look at the test that I gave out. And here is the test that I gave out, right? And then you can also look at the results. So let's look at the grades of this class. Again, this is a demo test, so nobody used it. So Humpty Dumpty, if I was looking at this test, Humpty Dumpty's grade would be here, right? And Little Bo Peep and Harry Potter, their grades would be in here. So it allows me to use these quizzes for the students to do them online, and I am collecting grades with them. Are these grades 100% authentic? No, I'm not crazy to think that big sister and mother and father are not helping. But yeah, at least we can get something going, all right? So you can create your own test. I know we're running out of time. I really am sorry. We talk about designing. So let me leave this because you can go in, and it is thatquiz.org. You can go in and really use this, and it is free, free. All right, so that's online quizzes. But we cannot talk about math unless we talk about manipulatives. Math and manipulatives go together, right? And there are a lot of virtual manipulatives around. There are a lot of them. Some are better than others. Some have a lot of ads and distraction. The one that I do like is Mathagon. Again, this presentation is not about how to use these manipulatives, because that would take too much time. I'm just trying to let you know what is out there that you can use in your interaction. So this is Mathagon. I hope you're seeing it. I'm just going to show you one activity with it, and then I'll come back to the polypad. This is what they call the polypad. So let me show you one activity. So here it is. You are to make this shape. You are to make this shape. And here you take all the pieces off. Here they are. And this is the shape that the children need to create. So we have to, what goes here, and then you double click it. And when you double click it, you rotate it and you fill it in, and you go through and you take all the pieces and try to make the shape. No, it looks very simple, but it is very tricky sometimes, and it really is engaging with the student and how to turn shapes and how to that spatial experience with what can fit and what can't fit. So this is really a nice activity that you can use on here. But I want to go back and show you manipulatives. So here they have shapes. If you look along the left side, there are shapes, and you go down, you have number tiles, and you have number bars, and you have fraction bars, and you have algebra tiles. I mean, it is just really, really wonderful. Here you go. And you easily move them. You can snap them together. You also have a pen. My screen is full with other things, but there's a pen that you can use. There are lots of activities. As I said, these are virtual manipulatives. There is here you can measure angles, lots of things, absolutely lots of things. Now, this is not, as I said, this is not the presentation on how to use these manipulatives and how to use these websites. I don't know, Mr. Leslie, maybe if in your comments, if this is something that you're interested in, then JTC can look about doing that. I really don't know. We're just really trying to advise you on some of the things we have. So we're now at 3:15 and we have to get out of here. We have to get out of here by 3:30. And I really wanted to give you some time for answer, question and answer. Yeah, I see a question saying it's because the emails are coming because they want to get the presentation. The only way you're going to get the presentation, there are, how many people are on here now? 918 participants. I cannot, nor can Mr. Leslie, sit down and type emails to 919 people. We have to be tech smart. And the way that is going to happen is by you clicking on the link, and we are then able to download and to gather those emails really very quickly and then send it out. So if you're sending it this way, it's not going, I'm sorry, it's just humanly impossible for us to do it that way. So we're moving into technology, and you're going to do the link. So I'm going to give you the link in a little while. Don't worry, I am going to give you the link, and I am going to ensure that you get it. I'm also going to give you my email, so in case you don't get it after a reasonable time, you can then send me an email. But let's wait until the reasonable time, right? So that's basically what I wanted to present to you today. We're just going to wrap it up. So the main takeaways I wanted to say is that keep it short. You know, the children are stressed. We are stressed, and they are stressed as well. So we don't need to overburden them, right? So stick to the essentials. Preparation, as with face-to-face, is key. So you need to prepare. We need to prepare well for them as well. And really try and connect with your students. Try and have that connection with them that we would have face-to-face. I know it is difficult, and I know many people don't have the devices, and I know they don't have data, but it is what it is, and we have to try and do something. We can't just sit down and take the licks that way. And make use of online resources. Also, the last point I want to say is be kind to yourself. If your colleague teacher is zooming out every day, and don't feel bad. It is what it is. Do what you can. The only thing I'm saying is let's get better at it. So if 1 month ago the only thing you could do was send one WhatsApp a day, then move that up to using some of these online tools. Let us improve the skills that we have. We're resilient, and we can do it. So let us improve our skills. So that's basically it. I hope that I've helped in some way. I'm going to let you know there is the link, as I promised. That is the link, that thing in the red there. That's the link. All you're going to do is put that in. You're going to get a short survey and put your email in, and we will collect it. And my email is mathmongoose@gmail.com. And I've also started a Twitter. I started it 1 hour ago before the presentation came. Because when I was thinking about it, I thought maybe we would have a lot of teachers who would like more information. And the only way, there's no way the easiest way for me to engage with, well, I really didn't expect 900 people, but to engage with 900 teachers is through a social media like Twitter. So if you go on Math Mongoose right now, there is nothing there because I just started it. But by the weekend, I would start putting up links and whenever I find something interesting, I would put them there so that you can go and collect them and we can have conversations there. As I said, once you fill out, if you thought this was a good presentation, let JTC know what was good about it, what can we do to improve it, and some other topics that you'd like to see. What is it you would like to do? So we'd like to hear from you in the chat. And if there are any questions, I think Mr. Les will probably be a better person to man the questions. But let's see. Mr. Les, are you going to man the opening of mics? Let me stop sharing. Let me stop sharing. So that's me. So I can see you now. So everybody hasn't fallen asleep. Everybody's still awake. Nobody died. Are you all okay? I really am thankful because it is hard. We're having our teachers are really having it hard. And for so many of you to have stayed for the hour, I really appreciate it because it's not easy. Our shoulders and our backs were being weighted down, and to go to another presentation again, we can't bother, Yeah, so I'm really, really thankful for you for joining us today. So it's time for questions.